It's Cat. And it's Woof. And they talk. It's Cat and Woof talk. Cat and Woof talk. Cat and Woof.
Hello, this is
Cat.
And I am touching her while my boys play Grand Theft Auto.
No.
Touching her while my bros play Grand Theft Auto.
No.
What? Been listening to the Tortured Poets Department all weekend long.
Not the Tortured Poets Department. So
I
who are you
know.
then?
I know. I'm Woof.
There you go.
And this is Cat and Woof Talk. I actually haven't heard Taylor Swift's new album.
Neither have I, and I don't really want to, so.
Oh my god, roast her in the comments. Swifties,
I hate Taylor
get
Swift.
on her ass.
I hate Taylor Swift.
Cat, don't be so divisive. Half the country loves Taylor Swift.
Good for them. I used to like her. I don't anymore.
Whatever, major loser. We are talking
About
Fallout
3.
Episode 3.
Episode 3.
To
Not,
be specific.
not Fallout 3. That's New Vegas.
I was gonna say. I almost typed in season 3 to
You wish.
try to pull up the episode.
Yeah.
But no, it was episode 3, The Head.
The Head.
And we are talking about this. I think this is the right format, just to get a little bit meta for a second. I think it's a good idea to talk about these one episode at a time. Because the show is popular and people are, I guess, interested in what's going on with Fallout. Maybe this way we can sort of break down what we like, what we don't like, what's working, what's not. I will say this is my favorite episode so far.
I full wholeheartedly agree.
At first, things were moving kind of slow.
This one kind of didn't feel like an hour-long episode. It felt more like, felt better paced than the other 2 episodes.
We also took a break right in the middle.
We did. I was hungry.
I was tired. We took a little nap-a-reno.
Yeah.
And we had some food-a-reno,
Yeah.
too. But the point stands. This episode wasn't as slowly paced.
Went more into backstory than current events.
I feel like the format is starting to work a little bit better now of having multiple stories going on at once, multiple perspectives.
I was going to say, not stories. They all lead to one story. It's scenes.
Well, they
ahead.
lead to one story. That wasn't the case in the first episode.
Yes, that's true.
I think back to like the first episode of The Walking Dead, and it was all Rick. It was his whole experience from the beginning of the apocalypse to after the apocalypse. And I think that this show could have learned a lot about how to do this kind of setup from that show.
Yeah.
I
Which
think
they're kind of doing, considering
Well, I
one
just
of them.
think that they should have gone with one character for the first episode or so, and then slowly introduce the other characters.
I
Not
can agree.
the way that they did. But we already talked about that. We're not going to dwell on the negativity of the past, especially when we've got such a fun monster to talk about with this episode.
Yes.
I loved this giant axolotl,
He is great.
the gulper,
The Gulper.
whose mouth is a bunch of fingers.
Mhm. He has no teeth. It's just, he's touching you. He's touching you.
He's just touching you all the way down to the digestion phase.
And then you die.
Pretty gross. Pretty disgusting mouthed creature. But also
Look at him. He's so cute.
he's so cute. He has very human arms and hands. It was just a fun little monster. Monster.
He's, to me, it looks like he's one of the, not mutilated. What's the word I'm looking for? Mutated. Like, everything seems to be kind of mutated in this show to be more human-esque. So he's mutated.
Well, there are a lot of mutated things, not necessarily to be more human, but there are a lot of things that are just mutated in general.
He looks like he's got fingies. Like straight up, he looks like he has a thumb right there.
In his mouth, yeah.
Well, no, his mouth are fingers. I'm talking about the little thumb poking out.
Oh, yeah. His arms are very human.
Yeah.
But, I mean, in general, I think most of the creatures aren't necessarily more human-like. A lot of them are just a lot bigger, right?
Yeah, axolotls kind of had fingies anyways.
I guess. But, we saw in the last episode, we saw a giant rat.
It was a rat?
In the cave.
Oh, that was a rat. You're right. I thought that was a bear.
It was like a rat bear.
Yeah, I thought it was a bear. That's why I was like, huh.
Rat bear.
Oh, only world of little rat bear.
No, I liked this. I like this episode. I like this creature, and I like that we're spending a little bit more time with the ghoul/mutant. So do you want to talk about that, because they can't really figure out whether they want to call this character a ghoul or a mutant?
So the weird thing about him is that he seems to be a mutant, not a ghoul. And
right, you were saying that during the episode.
Yes, because a mutant is someone that's basically survived, whether it be damage to the point of no return, or, just not zombified. Someone that survived this nuclear blast since the beginning. That is a mutant. And mutations happen throughout, the whole of all the Fallout series. But to be a mutant is different than being mutated.
Right.
And a ghoul is basically a zombie.
Mm-hmm.
Someone that has no thought process, no just kind of instinctive kill. Whatever's in its way, I'm going after it.
I can respect that grind set.
So they're all calling him a ghoul when he's got a mind of his own, which they could just be using the word wrong. Maybe they didn't quite understand, ghoul versus mutant, or mutated.
I think that's sort of what's coming across in the writing, is that they don't really distinguish, or they don't really care about the difference very much. Because at certain points they're calling him a mutant, at other points they're calling him a ghoul. I'm telling you, Kat is one for the lore.
I am. I really love lore.
She loves lore, and if you get the lore wrong,
I'm gonna be mad.
She's gonna come get you. But that's, I guess, a pretty big one. Is you want to get the
because ghouls are a big enemy in the game. Mm. They're one of the main enemies you come across in the quote unquote overworld of the game.
Right, that sort of hive mind monsters that kind of act as your main NPC, really. Or
pretty
your
much.
Standard NPC.
Yeah.
It's going to be a ghoul creature.
It's going to be a ghoul type of creature, yes.
Whereas mutant would be more related to the story, it'd be more...
Yeah, so ghoul's more... Sorry.
Oh my gosh, what are you, a writer for Fallout by...
No.
Okay. I didn't think you were.
Whereas we've met multiple mutants, from what I understand, in the Fallout series, and they're a big part of the Fallout series, specifically to the story. And it seems that I'm so sorry, I literally forgot his name.
The character?
Yes. Is a huge part of this story, and one of the main mutants you're gonna be around. He's the introduction to mutants, and then they just call him a ghoul out of nowhere. It's like, hold on. Wait.
Well, there are things about the Fallout universe that they do very well, and things that they're trying to pay homage to. But yeah, when it comes to certain details like that, things don't quite fit together the way that they should.
Yes. And that's what I've also been hearing about this Even before I started watching
People
it.
are concerned about how New Vegas ties into the lore.
Yeah,
People
New
are
Vegas
concerned
and how
about-
they're using Ghoul in this show. Because if they're talking about him being a Ghoul, that means they changed the whole aspect of being a Ghoul.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, there are a lot of issues when it comes to you're adapting a series that already has 4 entries and you're telling a different kind of story. It's understandable that it's going to be hard to get all these details right in this universe.
But that's a pretty big one.
It does sound like they're sort of treading carelessly through something that should be a little bit more.
Yes, definitely a little bit more. But otherwise, the episode was quite good, and I do like the way that he acts towards Vault dwellers, considering his kind of backstory, which we saw in the first episode.
Yeah, we saw a little bit more about his backstory. Here it's like... Yes.
The ending?
It sort of implies that he doesn't... How would you put this? He doesn't
like
really...
or trust Vault dwellers.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say in regard to his backstory, he's sort of a big... So we see him as like a big star.
Oh, yes. And commercials and the movie and...
Well, at first it was mainly he was a movie star.
Yes.
And then he had some issues with... I guess it doesn't show that sort of relationship with him in the studio falling apart.
Not
but
yet.
We see that in the first episode, is that he's basically working children's parties.
Yeah, like something happened.
How did he go from one to the other is the question.
Yep. I guess we'll find out, as the series goes on. But also, the ending of this particular episode, Vault-Tec was quote unquote introduced.
Yeah,
as a backstory.
We see a little bit of the Vault-Tec lore, and their mission a little bit we learn about.
Yeah. And
what I like about this episode too is that we see a little bit more of the Vaulties.
Yes,
we
and
see
how
a little
they're
bit more of their
morals are. I was gonna say their morals.
Morally they're sort of ignorant of the way that the world. Well, they have their own unique perspective. I guess
I love Norm now. I really love Norm.
Yeah,
he's like. Well, if you have not seen it, spoiler alert right here, because this is directly from the...
Well, I think we've been in spoiler mode.
Well, it's been spoiler territory, but we haven't specific...
We're talking about specific episodes, so
yeah.
I think that, anyways.
But this is direct from the episode, where he's like, let's murder them.
Yeah.
Because they did it to us.
Well, I think that, we're going to see... the Vaulties really struggling with maintaining their careful norms, their carefully crafted reality, especially now that their water is...
Oh, yeah, their water's broken. Like, they have enough for 2 months.
Broken. They've only got enough clean drinking water for about 2 months. And they've got
excluding the prisoners.
They've got a bunch of raiders. So even if they got rid of all these raiders... And there's been a major change to their leadership. Their normal leader is, of course, gone.
Got kidnapped.
Yeah.
That's why we see her out there.
She's trying to get him back. But, with these people stepping in, they're very ignorant of how to keep this society functioning.
Oh, yeah. And even when they get advice where he's like, we used to talk about this in private and then tell everybody.
And they're like, just like, no,
say
it's just all. And then they're like, oh.
Maybe we shouldn't have.
Yeah. So there's a steep learning curve on keeping civilization around.
Yeah.
And we're seeing.
We're seeing it.
We're seeing that play out.
Yeah.
Not so good.
Not
so
the best.
Good. We'll hope that they Vaulties stick around because it would be very sad.
Oh, I'm sure they will. Remember, this isn't the only vault. This is vault just 31 through 33.
Yeah.
32 is gone because they were raiders.
True. We'll see.
So
Anyways,
there's other vault
this
people
is
out there.
just one episode that we wanted to talk about. We'll see what happens in the next episode. I think that's
excited.
A good place to leave it off for now.
Yes, I am excited.
All right, and if you are still with us, remember to comment, like,
Subscribe,
comment, like, subscribe,
ring that bell,
ring-a-ding that bell, and we will
watch some other stuff.
We will be around talking about
more Fallout.
All
right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's Cat and Wolf in the talk. It's Cat and Wolf talk. Cat and Wolf. It's a Cat and Wolf and they talk. And they talk.